Okay, folks, happy fallback Sunday. Wow. Okay. So we got one suka done. Actually, there's one tiny little thing I want to do to it, and that is I saw one place where I'd like to have a little black lining on it. I don't have it. So let me fix that around this little shovel. Panel wash. Panel lining, something like that. Actually, I actually like this part of the process a lot. Gets me to enjoy all the little nooks and crannies. I don't know that it's that much more detailed, but I know I did it. So there's value in that. Oh, we got a little spot down here that could use some. Good morning, Ben. Did the time change for you or it changed last week? Or did it not change at all? Well, I have a feeling that the UK decided to change last week. I swore last year they said this year they were gonna stop doing the change, which I'm all in favor of. I'd prefer the summertime because I don't want to get home from work and I'm be exhausted. But honestly, I prefer them not to change either one. Just pick one and just leave it alone. Because tonight's gonna suck. It's gonna be like dark at 5 o'clock. And I had a most unusual day yesterday. I did something that I'm probably not going to be able to do today. Part of it due to the time change, but that's why I didn't come out. We didn't do any more painting other than in the morning. I don't know if that's going to be the case today, but as I like to say, if I can paint, I will, if I'm able to. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're good now. Uh oh. Last week for us, someone pointed out it must be hell for night shift workers. Well, maybe not here. It's not that much of a difference, but I don't know. I worked night shift for 1 week and I liked it. Of course, I was younger and I didn't have a family. I liked it. I liked getting off work and everything opening instead of like having all day to get there. So yesterday I decided to go on a bike ride, and not just a regular bike ride, but like actually exploring some parks. And by parks, I mean places that have trails. They're already dedicated to bikes, not like, cutting your way through, trespassing and cutting your way through property with a machete and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't in places I wasn't supposed to be. And basically spent about 7 hours outside. Long enough to get a flat tire on a car, on the bike, which I hadn't gotten in a long time. But it was towards the end. But it was also towards the part that I was the farthest away from where I'd parked. So I had to walk back like 2 miles. It wasn't a big deal. I'm like, well, maybe I'll ask somebody if they had a flat. Because this is like a designated bike area that's not far from here at all. So I was walking for like 2 hours and didn't encounter a single soul. Like, great. The one time I get an opportunity to like ride naked or something like that, and I don't take it. Not a single soul. So, but I found a couple places that were pretty cool that were, they're in the middle of the city where they're isolated. Like if you were like a nefarious person and you wanted to ambush people, of course there's not a whole lot of people there that go by there, but there was like ladies and stuff by themselves. Like there's one lady I encountered, like she didn't have a dog with her or whatever. She was like listening to like headphones. Like, what kind of a psychopath isn't, on the lookout for psychopaths? I mean, that's how stuff like that happens, But I do want to do something that I didn't do yesterday before I forget again, because I think we're going to do some desert vehicles today. We're going to do some desert stuff. I do need to finish these other two Sukas so they can get off the table. But let's take a look at these two. And this has this desert pink. I wonder if this is available in other vehicles that did this. I know they did Sherman's. This is like a Tunisia paint scheme. I've seen Sherman's in this. This is a Valentine mark, whatever the Valentine marks. Do not know my Valentine marks. I know that's the one with a 6-pounder. And we got Portland stone and light stone. So I'm going to, before I even fool around with them, I'm going to put 2 more of these things on here. Yeah, these people that like go off traipsing alone by themselves, like you won't encounter anybody for like a half hour through like woods, and I mean there's not any wildlife that I would say that would be dangerous, other than like a venomous snake. But I mean, I guess you could get a really rabid coyote or whatever, but they're not going to come out in the daytime. But yeah, these people that are all out by themselves, I'm like, I'm a little too paranoid for that. So I brought lots of water with me, my other pack with me that has my personal protective stuff, also known as a pistol. Of course, we can do that here in the United States, and I'm one of the good guys. Why shouldn't I be able to? Lots of water. Had a good time. And I didn't listen to anything. Only thing I saw were deer, hawks. That was it. Anyways, that was good for me. I need to do more of that, not less of it. Okay, this is Portland stone. I'll put it out here, that way I can compare the AK ones. I'm going to put them on top of each other here. Are the AK ones here, or they're in the garage? If they're in the garage, Well, I had them. I used both of those, so I'm more interested in seeing what these look like on white. I started using this one, and this looked like ass. So yeah, to be honest, if I'm going to be traipsing around the woods, I'd rather carry a machete with me, but can't have can't have an open knife. I'm like, it's a machete, man. That's how this continent was conquered, with a machete. And those are fun to use too. And we'll put the swath down first. And then we'll label it, because I did it the other way and I wrote too fat. I should buy more of this stuff, although I don't know where I got the hobby. Oh, of course. Let's think about buying something at a store that's only open does not open on Sundays. Lovely. You can't even think about going somewhere like and consider being armed in England, right? Or you'd be labeled a right-wing extremist. Oh, oh, and they're on to me. No, I do not want to snooze. Go away. I always have an alarm for 5 and one for 6. Right-wing extremist. Where's my list here of universal carriers? I need 3. I might paint it a desert universal carrier. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Like the people that are like, you should get a paint mixer. That's people that overpay. That's people that bought a paint mixer and like regret it. I can't use a paint mixer right now. I'll wake up the whole neighborhood. These things are loud. And my wife can hear like a fly fart in the room next in the house next door, so let's try this again. Oh, they're not that different from each other here. I don't really like that color. Or I don't like their version of Portland Stone. But this stuff definitely goes on different than AK. But those AK MiG things, AK ammo MiG, it's so complicated. You know, it's first I thought I was a Vallejo just being a dick and like, oh, we're gonna make Panzer Ace's range and we're gonna because I have all the Vallejo colors. I did. I may be missing a couple, but it's probably their metallics. And then they came out with Panzer Aces, and they came up with it, you know, and it's like it might be the same color as something else, but you don't know that. And now, it definitely has a lot more yellow in it. Doesn't mean I won't use this one, but I started spraying. This is definitely more buffy than this one. This seems to be about the same color as the other one. I'm not sure what I used for this one. I almost want to redo this one, but I probably won't. The Mysterious A13. The base color looks good. I like how that turned out. All right, we can go back to the second Suka, or as Mr. T calls it, sucker. I just realized they stopped announcing at work. They would put like at work they would put these pieces of paper everywhere, like a week in advance. Don't forget on such and such a day it's fall back, and such a day it's spring forward. On the time. Like I can see them announcing the spring forward, but the fall back, who cares? So you show up for work an hour early. They've stopped doing that. Good. It was getting annoying. Now, the people that need that reminder probably can't read to begin with, so it doesn't really do them any good. And just like that, it got warm. Like, what the hell? Ben and two others. Hopefully it's not two bots. Or do the bots even watch things without being told that they're there? Might be the feds after you. Recent comments. Well, it's not a problem here in the United States. I prefer they kept GMT Universal Time in the UK and do away with British Summertime. Good morning. Bam, bam, bam. All three of them. Yeah, it's not a problem here in the United States. Some of us are even licensed. So, I don't really feel a need to like have it on me ever. Only place I feel to have it on me would be like places where you can't have it, like New York. But no, I was fine when I went over the holidays. There was enough targets, you know. There's bad folks in New York. You know what I'm talking about, Marcus. There's some weird, like, a lot of Bill the Cat type people. Like, I need my next fix. You know, walking around, you know, like talking to themselves, like arguing with themselves and losing the argument. Like crazy people. Big cities are like that. But there was enough normal people for the holidays, or like, you know, we outnumber them like, you know, 1,000 to 1, so it's okay. And I was wearing a big jacket. It was cold, so they didn't know. They didn't know that I didn't have like 4 double-barrel shotguns or something like that. But out in the woods, like, you know, I mean, I'm a pacifist, but if some animal attacks me, it's going down. You know. But I went into some places that, you know, are pretty desolate. But they're, you know, they're like, this is like where you're supposed to like ride a bike and stuff. But like, you know, like you're out there by yourself. You know, like I said, I ran into a couple ladies that, actually one time I went on a hike, and I mentioned this on one of the shows. It was just at this park. And they call them state parks here, you know, and it's not like you're in the middle of the woods with nothing. Like there's a path, like you're supposed to go this way, and there's like a map, and you could follow it and go to this overlook, and like, oh, I'll go over there and see what's there. So it's like it's a designated area, but there's like no one there. And you know, this one lady was running with headphones on, alone. Like, are you fucking crazy? You know, it's like, who does that? I mean, I wouldn't do that as a dude. You know, bad people everywhere. New York has a law of large numbers. Yeah. Just make sure you don't deface a Nike shirt. There was a guy that had a feds no-knock raid his house over that. What? Well, I don't wear Nikes. I actually have one Nike item. And it's a shirt that I bought. I wanted to go to I went to a water park when my daughter was 4, I think. And I'm like, I need a rash guard. Because I'm gonna be in it all day, and I didn't want to get burned and stuff. And so I went and I picked one up at the outlet store. It was I call that the indestructible shirt. It's black, of course, and I wore it in the water park. It didn't get destroyed by the water. It didn't get discolored. I paid $8 for it, and it's pretty much indestructible. That's like the only Nike item I have. Were you still looking for some Fujimi stuff? Colonel Bills has some at the moment. So here's the thing about Fujimi. And I'll check Colonel Bill here in a second. That's a cool site. I'm not looking for anything. Things find me. I have one of the guys that I've met at the convention, a local player. Anyways, this person that I know, this guy that I know physically. Whoa, what do you mean by that? Hey, I don't mean that, and by the way, that's acceptable now. So, just don't show it on a video unless it's on OnlyFans. And he's wanting me to buy a lot of his stuff that he has, and the things I'm not really interested in. You know, and like after the 3D printing stuff, I'm like, I want to do the I don't want to, you know, when I was younger, I'm like, oh, okay, I do 1/72. Oh, this store has whatever. Oh, let me buy that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not even into that right now. Why am I? So I'm getting spread too many different directions, and I don't really want to buy and get spread in too many directions. So, but Fujimi, Hasegawa, those two in particular, I had this idea that they had really good kits, And the Fujimis, I don't think that they're very good. I don't want to actively go and buy 1/76th scale stuff. It's smaller. Um, it's not too small to use. I mean, these T-34s are 1/76, but the only reason I got them, I mean, look, there's T-34, there's an SU-76. Like, SU-76 is meatier than T-34. These work fine, but I got a hell of a deal on them, and it was my way to get T-34s, and a lot of them. There's some vehicles I don't mind having a ton of, like T-34s. Like, if it was like, hey, here's these Tiger 1s and there's 50 of them, I'm like, I don't freaking need 50 Tiger 1s. You know, I have one Tiger 1. So, I might have like 2 or 3 more, but, 50? Come on. You have a bunch of Sogers infantry and a few Hinchcliffe vehicles too. Sogers. Why does that sound familiar? All right, let's go look. All right, deep dive. This is why I don't have to get these done by a certain time, because otherwise I'd be pissed at you. Like, I gotta get these done by the game tonight. Let's see, Colonel Bill. I don't think I have a hot link on here. So let's see if I can find it. Colonel Bill Wargaming. I should be able to find it that way. Yep. Oh, is this on? No, desktop site, please. I have a phone with a lot of resolution. Give me the desktop site. Okay. Let's go to the store. All right. Pre-loved. I don't know. I don't want to know where you touched. Show me where on this figure you touched it. Unpainted items. What would I do with a painted item? 20 mil, the one true scale. That's offensive. Grow backbone. You guys are all my 20 millimeter people here are here. Ooh. Ryer Castings. Just make up your own name while you're at it. Yeah, that's a tiny. See, the Fujimi box art's incredible though. It's really, really good. I mean, like, inspirational. Like, when you're a kid, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. It shows a T-34-85 fighting a Chiha. Oh, yeah, they're fucked. Chiha can't even touch that. Okay, accept the cookies and stop popping up, you bastard. 45 millimeter Soviet, okay. Pack 36. I wish there was an option like show all items. Like, I got a good. This is America. I got a good connection. This is an Absurdistan. Like, show them all to me. Oh, there's some cool stuff here. Soldiers. They don't look familiar. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but those guys are cool. Ooh, this Fallschirmjäger Mortarman's kind of cool, where he's like dropping around him. No doubt about who the loader is on that one. There's a lot of Sozier stuff. Again, Germans, and more Germans, and then there's Germans, and then there's Germans with sides of Germans, and like, come on, man. Like, they need somebody to fight. I mean, I like Germans as much as the next guy, but, and I'm not offended by it. It's just like, come on, man, stop with your German fetish. The King Tiger with a Henschel turret's been there a while. And a Zimmerit. U.S. Infantry. Cool. No, not in the market for any of those. I want to finish this and start working on my Desert Rat. and then start hitting some of Marcus's figures. The listings say Bill themselves used to sell them, but they've sold the range to Eastern Front Miniatures. Tis but a momentary diversion on the road to the grave. Strap yourself in, boy. Next stop, Hades. Well, you know, I do have a couple of pennies here ready to pay Sharon. Oh man. Hey, I got a YouTube channel. People should pay me to let me go in the underworld. I guess I shouldn't complain about having to go to work tomorrow then. That's a little. Man, yesterday seemed like a really long day. I mean, literally, like last night I was thinking, man, that feels like Sunday night. And fortunately, it's not. So I should do a show on Tuesday night, huh? We'll see how that pans out. I'm not doing well in the evenings. And I'm having trouble sleeping. Like, I didn't have caffeine at all last night. We had some folks, the folks that I visited in Mexico came up, and they're here for like a month. So they came over and we had dinner. And I just have trouble going to sleep. And have insane dreams. You know, just exhausting in dreams. Maybe not insane, exhausting dreams. I feel rested. You know, I don't not feel rested, but exhausting dreams, and they're never about the stuff I want them to be about. Working on a Fujimi kit now, an elephant, part of my sable. Ooh. I have one to do. I have an Eshi one to do. Want me to pull it out and work on that one with you? Did you notice that the elephant has it doesn't have an idler wheel? Well, maybe it does, but it's got sprockets on front and back. Technically, you can't make an elephant without Zimmer in it. I'm pretty sure as soon as it's an elephant, bam, it's got to have Zimmer on it. I mean, if you want to be, you know, technical. Like a Panther A, you should never have a Panther A that doesn't have Zimmer on it. The way to do Zimmer is Plastic Soldier Company. It's like, bam, already molded on there. I remember building that kit in the past as well as the King Tiger. Yeah, my King Tiger Eshi is ready to go. It's ready to paint. But I want to do some kind of snow thing on it. Did notice also one doesn't have Zimmer. Not going to add it. I wouldn't add it. Famous person once said, "Ain't nobody got time for that." And I've seen some, I've seen some Zimmerit that if you've never done Zimmerit before and you tried it for the first time, you'd do a better job than that one on that actual vehicle. I mean, it looked horrible. But still, just because something looks horrible, it still looks horrible. Even though it's like, well, that's what it looked like. Yeah, well, it still looks horrible. But I was saying, these particular vehicles are perfect for my war game because they have no coax. It is just a 76 millimeter cannon. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. And I do have the crew members. Yeah, I don't mind putting together models, but I'd rather just have them already pre-built because I want to spend the time doing this stuff. I'm still one of those people that's like, man, anybody can put a model together. And no, I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but I guess what I'm thinking is it doesn't take a whole lot of there's lots of people that put models together. And there's not a whole lot of people that paint. Or there's articles I come across like on 172nd on the way. Oh, this Sherman, the Sherman Nazis. They're always like every single thing on a Sherman is wrong, like on a model. I get it, it is, but at some point you have to it's just a wargaming thing. It has to be kind of right. I don't want to have like the wrong barrel on it, or like the wrong number of turret hatches, or have the wrong markings, or that kind of stuff. I don't care that the Plastic Soldier Company tracks aren't realistic. They don't have the right pattern. I don't give a flip about a pattern on tracks. I mean, it's not that important to me. That's probably the thing I'm the least interested in is the tracks, because otherwise there's a lot of things you have to discount. Like I can't use these because these are basically just crap. I mean, they're like pieces of, the tracks on these Hinchcliffe ones are basically like these sections that are like this. They're like slabs of plywood. That's what they look like. So I basically say, okay, well, if I'm a track Nazi, then I'm not going to be able to use those models. So what are you going to do? Not use them? Yeah, those Fujimi things had all kinds of internal detail, and then like, what are you supposed to do with that? You could do a cutaway one. But these guys would like overanalyze every single thing on them and make it accurate, and I value all that. But then when they go to paint it, they don't do any washing or nothing. It just looks like it's all like one color. And I'm like, okay, if you go to a museum and you see a tank there and you want to make an exact copy of that tank in miniature, yeah, it doesn't have any washes or anything, but it doesn't look right to me. It just doesn't look. It doesn't pop. And I like vehicles to pop. Just like I wasn't really impressed with these before I started weathering them. And now I look at this thing and I'm like, I love this little guy. This is a great little model. But we made all these little things pop. So that your eyes like, what's this over here? It's like it's savory for your eyes. But when I, yesterday morning before I'd done any weathering on them, I'm like, the numbering system on these things sucks. Well, it does, but it'll be fine. I could make my own. I mean, I could have made like separate little brigade symbols, little triangles and stuff like that. But there's some things that I allow myself that creativity because it works for. And there's some others it's like there's no examples of them doing that. This thing will be destroyed in 2 days anyways, and there's no point in putting that kind of effort into it. But if I'm going to buy something, I'd prefer not to buy it in 1/76. I would prefer it to be 1/72. So this lady that came over and visited us last night, she comments on she sends me likes and frequently comments on my post about the stuff. She knows that I do this stuff. Did we forget to paint the rubber on this one, or it just looks like I forgot to paint the rubber? It just looks like I forgot to paint the rubber. Okay, because the weathering caught all of it. All right, we're good then. So she saw the stuff that I had laid out here, and it was funny because she picked at two things, and she's a big cheerleader. She's like, "Oh, this looks great. Oh, this looks," but of course she doesn't know what she's talking about, right? She picked at two things that were on my table. She's like, "Oh, this is really great." She picked this. Like, she really liked the paint scheme, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not finished. Like, even though I have other finished things, and I have I only have 150 vehicles that are finished back here, okay? This desert rat. I'm like, oh, this is really cute. I'm like, it's fucking painted black. Like, it hasn't even started. Like, pick something that's already painted. So I'm like, I suspect you're just blowing hot air up my ass. Go away. Like, pick anything else that's finished. Like, yes, this will be great, but it's not there right now. It's not there right now. Like, pick anything else. By the way, I like how you did the black drips on the SU-76. Yeah, the thing is that I am a terrible picture taker. I'm no good at it. I don't want to get better. I don't want to put the effort in getting better. Just like some people don't want to put the effort. But, because when I see things, and it's not even sealed yet, so it'll look better. You're talking about those little rust things up here. Yeah, that's just using the soft tone. I don't think I'm going to get a rust color. I think that having this in this light brown is just fine. Yeah, I still am not going to do chipping, but I like putting that little bit of not crazy weathering, but just some. Yeah, it just gave it something to for your eye to look at, and it's not as necessary, I think, on this as it is on something like a snow vehicle, where it's kind of two-dimensional. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Like, really, really happy. So, well, we're going to finish these three so I can get them off my desk. I don't know what I'm going to do with these T26s. But I'm kind of getting this attitude that's like, if something's too much work to try to... At first I'm like, oh, give me your, it's like Lady Liberty. Give me your unwashed, your unwanted, your whatever kits, and I'll fix them up. And now I'm like, okay, I could be like kicking ass on something that actually looks really good. I don't need to be like those broken things that I have back down there. I don't know that I'm going to do much with them. I think I'm just distracted by having so many things on my desk. I think if I sit down and go, okay, let's go ahead and try to put that comment together. And that's the only thing I have here. Let's try to super glue it, see what it looks like, prime it black and start working from there, I might be able to make like a knocked out one or something like that. You know? But one of the things about working on things one at a time is I want to be able to show, hey, this is what I completed today, so that I have a set sense of accomplishment on something. Not just like, well, what did you do today? Well, I painted 32 Roman sandals. Okay, well, what did that get you? Well, I don't have to paint them anymore. Okay, well, do you have any figures painted? No. Well, why not? Well, because I painted 32, that kind of thing. Like, I want to have something to show for it. So, and like the rivets on Chad's stuff, the rivets on these Plastic Soldier Company things, these things are really good. You go and look at Millicast, which is what that Martyr 3 is. It's missing a lot of the rivets. Like they're just miscast out of resin. Like there's this line of rivets here that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rivets. The one next to him probably has about 7. I can only see 3 of them. It's like, it just has miscast stuff. So we'll end up doing that as best we can. It'll end up looking just fine, but it's just a little challenge there. Yeah, my favorite vehicle I've done so far is the Yag Tiger. Not because it's a Yag Tiger, but because of the bright paint scheme and all the black, all the panel lining on it and stuff. I really like doing the panel lining. It's anything that I do with this brush, it's like, magical. It's a good experience. But what I don't want to get into is the thing that I dislike the most about painting stuff for DVA. It's like, I got to do these 12 guys next, and I want to do something different, but I can't because I got to get them done. So when I do the desert stuff, I'm probably going to do something along the lines of, we're going to do a Brit and an Australian and an Africa Corps guy and an Italian, just to put them next to each other and see how they look. Because again, it's like, I got to make them look different, okay? They have to look different cloth-wise, okay? And I know there's variations in cloths, but I'm not like, okay, well, khaki for all of them. No, not this guy, But that's where my experience with like painting my unwashed hordes of like generic looking figures for ancients works. Like, okay, this army this army and this army have to face against each other. Okay, cool. Well, will they both wear off-white type stuff? Well, they got to look different, you know. So I think that experience is going to be really helpful. And there's lots of examples of people painting them different ways on the internet, just in pictures, not to mention videos. So I can kind of determine, yeah, that's the direction I want to go to, and nah, I don't really like how that guy pulled it off. So, but we'll do this desert rat first, just to make sure that this. You know, this is 1/76 scale, but I don't know. He's not too small. Yeah, and these guys have the helmet that sits on their head right. Because there's some figure manufacturers that they just sit on the top of them like a fucking derby. Like it's a steel pot, not a derby, you know. What I didn't know is, and maybe this is just me being ignorant, but I didn't realize that none of these helmets are really meant to stop a bullet. So you're wearing this steel pot on your head, and if they never shoot shrapnel type things at you, they don't do any good. And maybe it could stop like a glancing blow, but you know, a rifle bullet will go right through the helmet. I didn't realize that. I was like, I'm wearing one then. I guess it's the same thing, you know, you're at a construction site and you're wearing a hard hat, you know, if a 2x4 falls off a building, the hard hat's not going to protect you. Well, it'll protect you, but you're still dead. And then the next desert rat guy I'm going to get is the guy you know who he is. He's on his knees or he's squatting and he's got the binoculars in his. That's a cool figure too. All right, let's go across here. There's a line. And then there's a line too. Move across. So yeah, this one guy that I know was trying to sell me a bunch of Churchills. Which I can use Churchills, don't get me wrong, but they're 1/76 scale. I'm like, and the Churchill's it's a beast, you know? It's a beast. So, choosing decals for the Elephant, okay? Digging on a 653rd Panzerjäger Battalion look, there's a nice shot in Tank Encyclopedia, have a nice decal for 221. So I think that'll be it. That Airfix set is great. I really like the Vickers team. Yeah, it's cool. How about that one guy that's got his hands like this? Jazz hands. One way or the other. You know what I'm talking about. Hold it steady. You know. You know. 653rd. Well, are you going to do it at Kursk? Because if you do it at Kursk, then you can't be an elephant. So they made like quickie on the elephant. Of course, you can read it you can read it on Tank Encyclopedia, and get the real scoop. But that'll be my Tony's abridged history of things that he learned along the way of World War II shit. Is they made 90 elephants or whatever, 90 Ferdinands, and half of them were lost at Kursk, or not used. The rest of them all go to Italy, and they go in one of the two units in Italy, and they all get Zimmerit. They all get the bow machine gunners thing, and one of the command tanks is that the Porsche Panzer One, Tiger One, that looks weird, looks like a snuffleupagus, with the turret all the way up front. But yeah, they all went. I think they all went to Italy. I think they all went to Italy after that, and they all would have had Zimmerit. I don't blame you for not doing Zimmerit on it. I probably wouldn't either. That just they make a little Zimmerit tool that's sold on the internet by Ching Chang Chum Incorporated, a little 3D printed thing, but I don't know how that'll work. I don't really want to. I don't have I'm not that good with. I'm not that good with grease stuff, and I'm really not that good with milliput. Oh, you just cover the whole thing with milliput or whatever. And it has like these little rollers and stuff, and I'm like, maybe if I only had one vehicle to do left, and that's the one I wanted to do, I could spend that much time on it. Yeah, I'd probably make it look decent. But then what if I want to make two? Like, oh shit, there's two of those. It's a good vehicle for like a scenario, like knock that beast out or something like that. But, an elephant is basically impenetrable from the front. You can't freaking touch it from the front. It's very rare that something could take it out from the front. It is extremely well armored on the front. But anyways, they had the one Porsche Tiger One that they only made one of them. Because they ended up not going with that version of them. Ended up being like the command vehicle for that unit in Italy. But yeah, Tank Encyclopedia is great. And even if you don't do them exactly like that, at least it gives you inspiration for other things. There's this guy that was pushing his art book several years ago. The guy's Igor something or another, and he's all over the internet because he posts his stuff everywhere, just like I do. I probably go like, oh, there's Tony shit again. Well, I remember like 16 different groups. I'm like, well, maybe I'll inspire somebody somewhere, But anyways, he posted his stuff everywhere, and I would have bought his book if it A, wasn't so expensive, and then B, didn't have so many make-believe things. And he had some errors that were like, when you start doubting somebody's, he's human. He's going to make mistakes. His artwork is great, and I'm like, I don't really need this. There's lots of stuff that I bought, and I haven't really used those things either. There's no point in throwing money at the problem. There it is again. You knew I was going to say that today. You understand that Zimmer flew off after a week or two anyways. Well, it's ugly. Mine will be 3 weeks old and it fell off everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, you just have to be happy with it. Because you could do like, man, I got to put Zimmerit so nobody says anything. And then you put Zimmerit and you spend hundreds of hours doing it. And then somebody comes up, oh, except you need to replace the road wheels because those are wrong. Like, fuck you, like. You need to be happy with it. We had this one guy at a local hobby store, and I genuinely liked this guy because he didn't have a bad attitude. But he would come in, and I would ask him, "Hey, if I want to make a this is back in the early '90s. I want to make a Panzer IV F2 135th scale. Who makes one? Oh, you have to kit bash this. You have to get the Italy kit, and you have to do this to it. But it doesn't have the pistol ports, and doesn't, so all these got conversions and stuff. And but he's a really good-natured guy. He moved away, unfortunately, an older guy. Not older guy. I mean, well, now he's an older guy, but he was in his 40s when I was in my 20s. So shit, he's almost dead now. Anyhow, I enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed talking to him because, well, now you have access to all this kind of reference material that you didn't back then for free. You have access to a bunch of free stuff. You can look things up and make your own decisions on things. Man, I didn't realize the British tanks were such a pain in the ass to try to get right. That A-13 is just driving me bananas. Now, I need to just paint it. I figured there's one of them that went to the desert with that front on it. Hey, Warlord Games has one on their site painted up like for the desert, so they couldn't have gotten it wrong. Again, I just have to be happy with it. Unfortunately, I'm picky about some things. Okay, Suki Suka. Let's go around the tools now. No, we did around that one. We didn't around this. But certain things are more important to me than others. Like, does it look like the right vehicle? Like, I don't really like the Plastic Soldier Company Mark IIIs. Their turret is just the wrong angle. It looks weird. Now, are the tools like bolted in the right place? Like, I'm not gonna scrape tools off and put ones in the other. Like, they'll work. If they don't come attached, that's different. I'll look into it, but. How long did that take? Should I black, white, and yellow? No. Let's finish 53. We can always come back. It's not like, let's get one thing complete. One article saw those A-13. Yeah, I saw that too, but that's no good to me. Like, you'll put tanks on a place where nobody invades. That's like that, the German modified KV that was for the invasion of Malta. Okay, well, it was never used in Malta. They never went. Have you noticed inaccuracies in any period artwork, like in the propaganda the countries themselves were putting out? Oh, yeah. You can't trust propaganda. Now or then, you go get a soda. It's soda 30. Let's finish this thing off. Be right back. But I think what I'm going to do is, with all my British tanks, they're all going to have names, and they're all going to go. I'm going to look and see what kind of names those units would have had. Whether they're okay, was it going to have an E name or an A name or a B name or whatever. And I'm going to use names that aren't used by any tanks. That, well, they may have been used, but there's no photographic evidence of it. And they're going to be done with, so they're going to be done in the same spirit. But I'm going to name them. One of the things that I love about the British Navy in the Second World War, let me be specific about that, is the names of the destroyers. I love the names of British destroyers. They're always like these great adjectives. And I think that's what I'm going to name. That's the kind of names they're going to have. Like Gorgon, if you had a G-class British destroyer, which there wasn't one named Gorgon, that's within the spirit of that. And they just, I really, really like them. And destroyers, when I'm playing naval games, that's the Saloy of, oh shit, I used that word. That's the skirmishers of the naval world, so they don't get any respect. So I'm like, nobody wants to play them. I'm like, I'll play them, and I'll whoop your ass with them. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And they'll all be good names. Like, as much as I'd like to have Giggle, that Matilda named Giggle, we're not going to call Matilda Giggle. We need more fight names than Giggle. Besides, we might have a giggler for president soon, so we don't need any more of that. I giggle enough as it is. But this is elegant, which I'm going to redo it because it doesn't have a dark color background, so you can't even see that I wrote elegant on there. But, elegant, E-class destroyer, elegant. Yeah, that would work, And I already have when I get some more Americans from Chad, I've got some things in mind, and I've already named them, in my mind what it is. So I need to just get off my ass and order the set of these little bags for this M10, because I'm not building this M10 until I can gypsy caravan this thing. And I gotta check to make sure I got enough stars, because I go through a lot of stars on my American stuff. Okay. There's wooden parts on here. There's metal parts on here. So let's go ahead and do the black sections on here. Yeah, it's no good a tank. They moved out the Cyprus. There's some theaters that just don't interest me in the Second World War. I don't care about Syria. I don't really care about French in Operation Torch, Vichy French stuff. I don't care about Greece. I mean, if I did want to do Greece, it'd be like the Italians getting their ass kicked by the Greeks. I don't really want to do British and Greece. I'm not interested in Crete. I'm not interested in anything Yugoslavia. What else? Probably not interested in Norway either. Jeffrey, you sent me a link or a post on the Dragoon. Boy, that's something that's forgotten about, isn't it? Nobody knows anything about that. That's meanwhile, in August, nobody does. I've never seen anybody do anything on Dragoon. I bet if you told people about Operation Dragoon, they'd be like, it didn't happen. The ARCOR stuff would be interesting, except that I don't like Panzer brigades. if I don't like separate heavy tank battalions for the Germans, I certainly don't like tank panzer brigades. And it keeps me from doing everything, right? I'm already split up enough different directions. Okay, black it is. I've never seen anybody even do a game on Dragoon at all. I don't think that they got up against much enemy resistance, did they? I mean, they showed up when they were busy, like, I mean, that happened at the same time as, like, the Falais Pocket was happening. Operation Dragoon. Dieppe. Don't care about Dieppe. Sorry, Canadians. Meaning, I don't really care to read about it or war game it. And that Face of Battle, because it's done by a Canadian, has a ton of Dieppe scenarios, like a lot, like 6 or 7 or something like that. I'm like, no. And Das Cable. Is there any vehicles unique to that? Maybe some French stocks and paint jobs. Unique to what? North Africa? Or unique to Dragoon? Didn't the French land at Dragoon? Like the Free French? I don't want to do French Shermans. I mean, they're wearing the same equipment. Like, why bother? Unless you'd be like, oh, are those French? No, they're actually Brazilians who also wear the same equipment. You know, like Dragoon. I don't know much about it. I really don't. Hey, I know about it, that it happened. How about that? That's even better than, I couldn't even tell you how many divisions were there. Didn't the Thunderbirds landed there, didn't they? The 45th? I don't know much about it. I'm pretty sure the Germans didn't know that was coming. Of course, the Germans were really, really incompetent when it came to intelligence. Like military intelligence. There's all kinds of stuff they didn't see coming that got them caught with their pants down for whatever reason. Probably there's too much stuff going on. That's what happens when you send the whole world up against you. It still floors me that they didn't know about the KV-1 and the T-34. I mean, you were like allies, supposedly. Not really. I really am enjoying doing this stuff a lot, especially without my contacts. Like, and I've always paid in 20/20 visions. It's not like I probably am doing a better job, but it's not needed for that. It's just I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. All right, that line doesn't meet up with the other one. Just like enjoying all the little intricacies of it. Now, while that's drying, let's go ahead and grab. I don't want to use this brush. This brush is still too small. Let's use one that's bigger and crappier. And get the orange out here. Agent Orange! I don't want to use. I don't want to trash that and doing something this big. Let's see what else I got here. This one's better. I don't want to use up all my miracles. Having a little pot of water though really has been helpful. So I have to like reach all the way over here and this is just a little pot of water to the moistening cup. Do you thin your paints? I said, yeah, when I'm hand painting. I don't really like thinning the airbrush ones. If I can help it. And I want to get some more stuff, but man, I feel like I need to knock out some of these things I've had for a while. That part stayed green. That's what I thought. I see these people that have these model areas. There's some Facebook group that showcases people's work areas. I haven't contributed to it yet because I don't want to take a picture of it like this. It's not, even though it's neater than most people's stuff, but I could do better. But these people have these huge, and honestly, I like my area better than most. Some of them are pretty cool, just from the aspect of what it looks like. I don't know that it would be more practical. I don't think anybody has any better lighting than I do. This lighting is incredible. But you see these. They have this area like behind or all around them, like surrounded by boxes of model kits. And I'm like, why do you keep buying more? Like, at least finish some of this stuff out. And they'll like, they'll have like 1/35th scale models of tanks, and they have like the same tank like 6 times. Like, stop. I mean, that's expensive, man. Like, I don't get collectors. Like do something with it. That's just like nerve-wracking. Buying stuff and not doing anything with it. That's just. I mean, unless they got it somewhere, like they were giving them away, or they got them for $1 a piece or something like that. But let's put a dent on this stuff. I mean, I don't even have that much stuff to do, and I still have a lot of stuff to do. Stepped away for a bit, back. Okay. Well, you missed all the juiciest part of this episode. So you normally be like, I already have this color out. Let's do the muffler on the other one. You know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to do that. Let's get more of this paint on here. But I see these pictures, these people like, man, you got like a condition. You got like a hoarding condition. And ultimately, you can do whatever you want, but when I have too much stuff, like I get distracted. So more isn't better. And even just sticking to World War II, it's like, I got stuff to do. I got buildings I want to get. I got buildings. I got those 2 downtown buildings to paint. Which now I'm not scared of doing. Before I'm like, I don't know if this is going to turn out okay. I love the building stuff I've done. It's like, it's turned out exactly how I wanted to. It's like, not worried about that. I know you said you weren't interested in French, but do you see all the João Peixoto's work for Burakim? I have not. Well, he does. Yeah, he's great. He's actually whether he realizes it or not, he's actually my inspiration for World War II stuff. He's actually my inspiration because I saw his stuff and I'm like, fuck, I want that too, And I'm like, I know it takes time, and he is a perseverer. I don't know him personally, but he's like, they don't make a figure for this, and he's like, fuck it. So he'll like create his own people. And, they may not be, museum quality standard, but it doesn't keep him from moving forward. What I do like about him is he doesn't use any decals. So he just paints everything. Well, that's nice. Like, I want this to look like this, so you freaking paint it, I wouldn't do that for, like, U.S. stars, because that's, like, torture, trying to get all the sides lined up. But for everything else, yeah, his stuff is, his channel was inspirational. And that's what really pushed me forward to getting back into this scale. Some nice barbed wire you might want to check out. Beer. I'm not seeing that. But I think of all the barbed wire patterns, the easiest one is just to do post and then wrap it in between them. But it seems like most of the barbed wire patterns for the desert are like the post and then the stuff going like horizontal through it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I found a scenario that actually has barbed wire in it in one of the books. But I don't know that I'm going to follow those things to the T because, like I said, that scenario I was showing yesterday, it looks really cool, but there's like a German infantry squad. What are they doing there? Like, There's nothing. I mean, they gotta wait for like one of the Matildas to get knocked out, the crew fire out, and then like then they can shoot at the crew, because otherwise they can't do anything. There's no vehicles like. What is a Mauser rifle gonna do to a Matilda? Nothing. Yeah, he doesn't. That guy doesn't keep things from like nobody makes this. Fuck that. That he makes it. In his own way. So, he was inspirational as far as I looked at his stuff, and he's very. Yeah, I really like his videos. I have not seen that French Burakim. Maybe that's why I didn't watch him. Like, oh, French, never mind. I don't have anything against the French. It's not a campaign that I'm into. Right now. But like one of my favorite one is his Germans at Mortam. He does like 2 Panzer divisions at a time, and how he does the little. Yeah, I really like it. I wouldn't go through all that detail and then go and play something generic like Rapid Fire. And if you're a fan of Rapid Fire, that's fine. That just does not. I don't want to drink that juice. That just doesn't. It doesn't have enough stuff in it. Like I said, it's a step back from Command Decision. I think Command Decision is more specific, and I need even more than that. And I haven't watched his stuff that I think he's like on a tear on. Last video I saw that he put out was like Little Big Horn or something like that. I'm like, wow, I can't think of anything that interests me less than that. That makes me want to play American Civil War. Just not even interested in that at all. But, it doesn't matter if I'm interested in it. Have you seen his video where he does his walk around on his basement? That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Speaking of basement, there's a guy on one of those hobby room things that he did his whole. I guess he's sponsored. I guess he wants to meet Mig Jimenez, but because he even had made custom like neon signs with ammo stuff on there. And I noticed that ammo changed their logo again. Like, they keep, it creates confusion. And yeah, his place is incredible. But one thing I noticed when I shot the video I did in the room over there, on the kitchen, I have incredible lighting here, thanks to the guy who created this house, and a lot of the details are lost because it's still not enough to catch it on video. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for a little table that I can move around and I can attach this computer to, because these vehicles and stuff have a lot more detail than it looks. They look good here, but you need more lighting to catch a lot of that stuff on here. But hey, that was my first attempt. I know one thing, that island is big enough to do a lot of stuff. So, but it's still constricted. I'm not in a hurry to go and buy 8x8 foot tables for the garage. Let's put it that way. Let's go over here. I actually like the mixing color part. That puts my own spin on it. But I was actually surprised that the battle between the Panzerjäger and the BT-7 was actually exciting. I'm like, this is going to be like very two-dimensional. And it is in some ways, but I don't know, I was kind of pleased that the game was a little bit more, the vehicle rules were a little bit more generic. I thought they were going to be really specific. But there's some genericness to it, which allows to add some detail in areas that I think it may be lacking, without it being like overwhelmingly so. If I choose to, like I don't have to do that to be able to play it. Like I don't buy like every vehicle is able to move, the turret 180 degrees or whatever. Like, some are going to be able to move, 76 degrees, and some are going to be able to move, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I can figure out as I go. But I enjoyed just seeing what happened with the narrative, which is ultimately what I want to get out of it, and be motivated to paint more things. This rust blend that I've come up with I'm really happy with it. Let's add more. Where there's a muffler, there must be rust. I think just a little bit more orange, and then we start adding white. I think right there. Almost like a Georgia clay type color. It's a little bit more water so it can be a little bit more vague, transitional. But I mean, there's modelers I had no idea. They're just old dude. It must be old dudes. Stick to the guns. Like, I don't use anything but enamels. Have fun suffering, pal. I can't imagine paying for a liquid to clean my brushes with. Like, I'm tapping out of that one. This isn't 1982 anymore, You're amazed that BT's 5 collision twice. Well, if I need some winning lottery numbers, I'm going to contact Ben, because he obviously knows what's going on. Yeah, I'm not happy with the way the results of the collision are. But, like I said, this is like a role-playing game. So, if I'm running it, like, okay, everybody in this tank's dead. I don't care what the rules said. Like, no, you got no survivors from this. Ben called it. And in that first action, the tank got off 2 shots, and that's exactly what supposedly happened in the narrative. What a prophetic game. Well, I wouldn't want it any other way, so that worked out. And the next time I do a tank game, it'll go faster. And I swear I need to make my own little charts, because there's a lot of stuff on there that just doesn't apply, you know. And you're looking for something, and there's all this like noise, running interference there. There's all these things that are on the page but you don't need, and it just makes it more difficult to find things. There's actually one part I do want to look kind of sloppy. The Panzerjäger didn't get hit once, though. The chances to hit it were so slow. I was amazed I was able to figure out how the structure hits worked. But one thing the rules don't have, and this tells you what kind of a tactical game it is it does not have additional penetration values by distance, or diminishing the penetration values by distance. You know, it's like 200 meters. Like 200 meters is point blank range. And, you know, I wouldn't want it any other way, you know, but. All right, that's drying. We got tool handles and stuff to put on there. And scratchies. Oh, no, yeah, I got enough different stuff to do. This was just because it was a mix. Let's go ahead and do the tools. What do we use for the tools? We use this cheap ass container. God, these bottles suck. Shake well. Agitar bien. Gut. Shoot. Teln. Shoot down. Let's see. Umlaut is a short sound or a long sound? It's long, isn't it? Yeah, because I always wanted to call it Spavagen, and it's a Spavagen. So a long U would be shoot. Gut schütteln. Good schütteln. Good schütteln. Shoot at that guy? No, shake. Oh, okay. Bien agité. It's got to be French. Bien agité. Barcelona. All my paints are Spanish. Yeah, occasionally this still made in the UK? Yep, for now. It'll get sourced to India soon. You heard it here first. Or in your case, they'll just bring India to you. We have this neighborhood they're building behind mine. And I would say this is an unofficial poll. I go back there to ride bikes and stuff like that. I would say that, I'm going to try not to exaggerate, 40% of the people in there are Indians. And I don't mean American Indians. I mean, like, you know, the real Indians. which I don't have a problem with them, but it's just kind of strange that there would be just like this. That's a huge percentage of, of not a domestic demographic. You'd be like going to Miami and finding somebody that doesn't speak Spanish. Like, the fuck you doing here? You know? Well, that would be miserable. Miami's miserable even when you do speak Spanish. You have some old Humbrol paints you're working through. I like acrylics now. I had 110. I think I threw it away. That I had bought from Humbrol, and it was to paint. It was like the exact paint to paint the Firefly, the original Firefly that's been repainted now. And to be honest with you, it probably looks really similar to this slate color. But I got rid. I don't have time for that. Buy thinner to clean brushes. Like, what's wrong with you, And, and to circle back, I don't have a problem with people from different ethnicities coming to this country. I mean, if the problem is you come here and like, let's all work together here, like in how things work here. Like, my dad never forgot where he was from, but he loved this country, and he's not like, and yeah, we speak Spanish at home and stuff. Like, I would never think about speaking English to my parents. Like, that's like weird, okay? But it wasn't like they weren't going to learn. Marcus, your wife happy to be in this country? I hope so. And have you told her that, the rest of the United States is not like New York? Thankfully. Yeah, I couldn't live in New York. Wherever you're from in Virginia, I bet I could live there. But the mother-in-law is same as my parents. She's from Cuba. She came over. She actually got caught. She was young. She's younger than my parents, and she got to see some of that communist stuff up firsthand, and got things taken away from her family, and so she's happy to be here. But her boyfriend, it sounds weird considering they're significantly older than me, is he's from New York, and he's definitely who's one of those guys that sees all the problems in the United States. Like, and he just like, he doesn't see all the good. I mean, there's problems everywhere, but he like sees like all the problems. Like, this is a problem, this is a problem. Like, well, just go live somewhere else, see how you like it. Your wife your wife likes the U.S. She's a citizen now. We like Shanghai though, great city. She has family there. I wouldn't go to China. And it's not because, I mean, there's a lot of Chinese stuff that I really dig. I don't know if I could let myself go to a country where they're like, nah, we don't want you to leave. What do you mean you don't want you to leave? Well, I'm going to my embassy. Well, we're not going to let you go. I don't want to volunteer for that. I'm really uneasy about that. And you don't want me to go to China because the first place I'd be like, I want to break into that place where the first emperor is buried. Like, let's see what's inside this fucking mountain. We want to know. I want to know it. I want to see it in my lifetime. I'm dying to see what's there, you know. Man, I love my Chinese ancient armies. Okay, I think we've got all of that resolved. It's time for the brown drippings. You find the Chinese to be more like Americans than other Asian countries have been. The part, I don't think I'll ever go to Asia. It's just too far. I mean, have you made it to Europe, for God's sakes? Hopefully that'll happen soon. It's supposed to happen in January. We'll see. But the place I want to go now and take pictures of is the Philippines. All right, we got to make that little plant. I don't know. There's just something. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. All right. You like these little rust spots? I like them too. And the nice thing about this particular thing, I don't think I need to go more orange. I think it looks fine the way it is. The thing about it is it doesn't cover really well, which that means you don't overdo it the very first time you put a little bit of something on it. Remember, hinges. Hinges are things that rust. So anywhere there's a little hinge. Man, our weathering on that number came out really well. You don't need an airbrush for this kind of stuff. Now, this particular wheel was on there a long time, and they never did anything with it. So we're going to rust that a little bit. And then, of course, down here, it's really like a Zen experience doing this. Yeah, it doesn't need more than that. Just some discoloration. Where there's weld marks or something like that. And this one, they had a really bad weld here at the bottom. And that weld, what can I say? I'm really enjoying this. Is that so wrong? Getting all, what's his name? There's a happy little tree growing right here. There's a happy little rusting rivet. And not everywhere, just in a few places. Maybe there's a weld here that decided to rust a little bit. Alright, so that's done. So we're going to come in and mix. Where's the Russian green? Here. Yep. With a little bit of the sand. Now, if you noticed, I've pretty much I discovered the flow aid, was really big into it, and now I'm back out of it. It was breaking down the paint molecules. Molecules? Yes, breaking down the paint molecules. Dark sand. You're probably more likely to go to the Philippines than Libya, though. I haven't been to the Philippines. I'll never go to the Solomon Islands. I've been to Okinawa. I have a feeling the Solomon Islands are probably. I was there the other day on Google Earth, and there's not a whole lot of stuff built up there. Libya, yeah, we're not going there. We're not going there. Yeah. Oh, it would be nice to see. Okay, where's the? Show me that airfield at Cedar Rizal. That I think was just a flat area of land. I don't think it was like actual like pavement or anything like that. But we just had such an unexpectedly bad experience in the last third world country we visited about not being able to leave because of there not being any discipline, like the government not disciplining people that are like, you know, oh, they're just going to block this entire airport and there's nothing we can do. That I don't really have an interest in going somewhere where there's not, like, they don't have their shit together, you know? Like, it's difficult enough for me to take time off of work, and I certainly need to come back when I'm supposed to. So, maybe a little bit lighter than that. I don't have time to have that kind of inflexibility. Workplace. And I don't have a lot of time off to begin with. My wife just started a new job within the last year, and she has more days off than I have that I've been maxed out for 10 years. I've been maxed out at my job for 10 years, and she has more days off than I do. And it's hard enough for me to take the few days I have. Okay, I think we're good. You know what? One thing I am going to do on these. Let's make sure that these clamps on the tools stand out. We got a horn here. Now, in a couple weeks, we're not going to be able to do a Saturday shows. We have a full work day on a Saturday. So, the weekend before Thanksgiving, not gonna be able to do a Saturday show on that day. Saturday morning show on that day. Going to run to the grocery store. Okay, man. Thanks for coming by, as always. All right, we're going to get a refill with some water, and I'll be right back when we start working on the last suka. I drank a lot of water yesterday. I sweated a lot of water yesterday. Suka, suka, suka. Pizza, pizza. Suka, suka. Oh, my one word I know in Russian. Suka. So if I ever go to Russia, I just call everybody a suka. See how that work out for me? Don't think I'll be going to Russia. Well, that museum is probably awesome with all the tanks and stuff. I want a museum where you can like walk on the tanks. You know, not like like destroy them and stuff, but like get up on them. Like saw some pictures somebody had posted. It was some park or something. I don't remember where it was, but what really caught my attention is this guy was there with his kid, and the kid was, I don't know, a toddler, and they were on top of like a T-34-85. I don't know that it was in Russia. I don't think it was in Russia. For some reason, they had a T-34-85 there. It was like in the Netherlands or something like that. Like, what's a T-34-85 doing in the Netherlands? But like the tanks they have here at the on display here at Camp Blanding, you're not supposed to walk on them. If the sign says don't get on the vehicle, I'm not going to get on the vehicle. If there's no sign, I'm climbing on it. Well, I don't know if I could hoist my ass on a vehicle, but hoist your ass. We didn't do that. Ha ha ha. Of course, this will look better after they're sealed because this is slightly glossy varnish. And that'll all disappear with the Vallejo flat coat, which is really flat. Ooh. A little bit of soda in there, now it looks like whiskey, watered down whiskey. polish session today. We'll see. I have a feeling that I'm going to have another paint session in me today. And I really want to do something with counter. Maybe I won't do that one yet, but try something easier with counter. I got tape and stuff. I mean, I'm just doing counter and then doing this kind of treatment. It's going to look fantabulous. You know, so I think I got one universal carrier to put together. Unfortunately, it's who are those Canadian people? And it's not because they're Canadian. It just happens to be a Canadian brand. Raffin. They're just very rustic. Very rustic. So, rustic assembly. Do that on that tire? I didn't, did I? I did there. I didn't do it on, I didn't do it on 53. these things not finished yet on my table, or at least started working on them for a long time. I want to say a year. What I have been very motivated to do is do book reviews. I got several books and stuff that I can do, and man, I'm just really unmotivated to do videos that, we're shooting a video, right? But I'm doing stuff. So I'm going to be doing this anyways if I'm not shooting a video. So, like, there's no harm, no foul, right? Work table of shame. Yeah, there's no harm, no foul. If nobody watches it, if nobody comments on this, it's not a big deal. I got to do it anyways. The fact that I'm filming it forces me to stay committed to doing it a certain amount of time, unless I fall asleep, in which case all bets are off. But if I go and do, say, a book review of something that I bought, and nobody comments on it, and it doesn't have a lot of views, I'm like, I just wasted my time, because, like, that's done for other people. This is done for me, and I'm not trying to sound like an egotist, but, the worst thing you could do is, or what do people call it now? A narcissist. I'm just saying that because that's like a word. Oh, so-and-so's a narcissist. Okay. I don't want to get burned out or discouraged, really. That's what it is. That's like the worst thing I could do. Other than not be happy with something, how that turns out. But we're well past that. Like, I'm not happy with the way some things turn out. I can fix it. I got the skill set to be able to do that. So we've honed the skill set enough to be able to do that. Work table of shame. Yeah, I just want to feel. I want to feel good. I want to feel good that I bought these things and I did something with them. I'm not even that excited to use them in a game. I just they need to they need to serve a purpose. And just buying shit doesn't serve a purpose for me. This hobby is really cheap. If you just let's make sure that we got that. I don't remember doing it. I guess I did. If you just use the stuff that you buy, you'd be like, well, the example I like to use is order a meal and then not eat it. But probably a more correct example is you keep buying puzzles and you never build them. Like, if you just have a puzzle and you build it once, at least it served its purpose. But if you buy a puzzle and never built it, why did you even get it in the first place? And especially with something like Scalemates. You're like, oh, I just want to get something because I want to see what's inside. Well, now you can go to Scalemates and see what's inside. Or on YouTube, people have done unboxing videos on different things. You get to see how does it come in? How is it packaged? But I actually talked myself in Friday on getting something, so it should be in. Let's see where it is. Let's see where it is, because this is something I should have gotten a while ago. Yeah, the problem is I looked at it, it was $15, and I'm like, when you click on it, and then it came back to me, dropped $2 off it. I'm like, I'm getting it. paid. Tracky's not available. Yeah, the only thing is it went from $13.99 to like $22 by the time you added the freight on it. Man, shipping is just too damn expensive. And this is domestic. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be here. It could be here as early as Thursday of next week. We'll do an unboxing on it. I like doing the unboxings as they happen because, like, then it's for me, you know. But I do like airbrushing because I feel like I'm working on my skills. Like I'm doing this, and this turns out well. I don't feel like I'm working on my skills. Like there is, you know, skills from the standpoint of like, you know, holding the brush better and stuff like that. Like that's, but like the airbrush, I got a world to improve on it, and it's going really well. My airbrush journey has been very useful. Like I'm not getting jams with it at all anymore. Clogs and persistence is the key to victory. Make my own motivational posters. Yo, this gnome will last a long time. You get a lot done with one pot of it. This is actually the first one I ever bought. But I didn't use this thing at all with, I don't think I used it at all with Ancients. I don't think I did. Oh, we have a writings. Somebody on the Solitaire War Games Facebook group, which is one I'm not a member of, did a comparison on the gaming hobby compared to going out. After so many complained about the price of games, worked out way cheaper, especially now. Like, I don't ever want to go out to eat anymore because I don't know how it is in the UK. I suspect it's the same as here. Compared to 5 years ago, going out to eat sucks. I mean, quality wise, yeah, it's more expensive. Okay, I expect it to be more expensive. But I have a problem when things cost more and they're shittier. I have a personal problem with that. At least keep it the same. Not like, okay, well, we're going to cut corners too. No, okay, make it more expensive. Well, we can't do that. Well, then, you know, because I don't want to go somewhere and have a shitty meal, regardless of how much it costs. If you have a shitty meal, you overpaid, right? Because you had a shitty meal. And that used to never happen. I mean, 1 out of 100, you'd be like, man, we shouldn't have gone there. That sucked. Now it's like, it's close to 50-50. That's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable. And the service is worse. And I don't need any service. Okay, like just show me where the drinks are. I'll refill them. Well, I don't get drinks anymore. I don't have soda out. Once soda started being like $3 a piece out, I'm like, I don't have soda. I have soda at home. I don't have soda out. We'll drink water. Stop that. I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I lose track. If I have something out, it'll be like a beer. Because, I'm only going to have one anyways, so. And we usually share that. Actually, I have more to drink when the daughter's around than when she's not. When the daughter's around, it's an opportunity for give her to try something else. Because I always say, alcohol for me is like having an appetizer. When you go out to eat, it's like having another appetizer. Something you get to share. It's it's not to get even a buzz, not even to get the buzz, just a part of the experience. People in America can't figure that out, but that's just, I had some scotch last night. We had some people over. I had some, oh man, I gotta think how that one's pronounced. Lafroig. I had some Lafroig, which apparently I'm the only one here that likes it. Everybody's like, it tastes like crap. Okay, that's fine. I'll drink it all myself. Not all in one sitting, but, so I had 2 fingers, 3 fingers of it, something like that. Sipped on it for a couple hours, no buzz. Didn't have to chase it with any water. Didn't get a hangover, I didn't get a dehydration headache. That's what I call a hangover. A dehydration headache. I tried that Lafroig for the first time. Lafraig. I like that stuff, but I like most things. I tried it in New York for the first time. Let me see what this is about. Everybody's talking about this thing. I'm like, oh, this is unique. But apparently, I'm the only one here that likes it. Oh well. It lasts a long time. I mean, I don't know. I got it 2 years ago or something like that, and I still have a third of the bottle. Again, people say, oh, drinking's expensive. Not the way I drink. Not the way I build models. Lafraig. Well, good. That makes more sense. Somebody said it was called Lafrog. Stupid bastard. Led me astray. I hope they get explosive diarrhea, whoever they are. And an explosive diarrhea at an inopportune time. So what do you think, Jeffrey? You think I should fix that comet up? Try to do something with it? Poor thing. I think all the pieces are there. At least has a good finish, unlike this BP Cast JS2. You know, I could take that BP Cast JS2 and then do the overspray on the white. It'd be an opportunity to do a white, to practice on a white vehicle. That's probably what I should do with it. You know, because I need to learn on that. Because I'm probably going to, at some point, get some Panzer IIIs for Wintergewitter, and they're going to need to be, like, grayed out, and then do the I don't know, doing these two winter vehicles really, like, instilled, like, a lot of confidence in me, and, like, being able to do the snow stuff. And I got lots of winter-looking Tufts that are, like, sitting around being unused. Hell, I could do that with a Comet, for that matter. Not unless you're going to gain 1945 late war Germany with a second Pfeif and Führer yeomanry. They're the only ones that used them? Well, you know what I say. That's an opportunity for me to learn about more about a period that I don't know much about. You know, I'm okay doing 45 stuff in Germany. Pfeif. What is a Pfeif? That's a silly name. It's 8. See if we can't knock this suka out. I don't think I want to make it destroy. That's just extra work. And for something that's not even usable. Part of the 11th Armored. Oh, I love that bull. That bull's cute. On a yellow background. That's like my people, man. A black bull on a yellow background. My people. All right, let's take this step by step. So we're going to go all the way across. We don't see, oh, there's a little line that needs to be stand out. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Front. Did I end up putting this around the, I didn't. I probably should. Around the cable. I'm not opposed to painting the unit of service markings on the British vehicles. I don't want to paint their unit, their armor division things. I think they deserve the decals. They need to look nice enough to. Make that bitch pop. They're the only ones that use the comment. There we go. And this one? This one's not done yet. It's also a musical instrument. Fife is a county in Scotland on the north side of the River Forth. The old Pictish early Scots kingdom of Fortuit. Also a musical instrument like a flute. So what's a forar? Ooh, do they have bagpipers there? In that unit? Yeah, that comet is definitely the Centurion is a direct descendant of it. You could tell, like, it's very Centurion-y. Only thing I don't like about that 77 millimeters, I feel like it's a step back from the 17 pounder. Okay, we were doing the front here. We have the stuff on the front. And I like to jump around when I do these things. I don't want to like be methodical. Because then it just becomes like you're writing sentences. But once it's time to close the deal, yeah, we need to take a look at this, side by it, side of the vehicle by side of the vehicle and see what's missing. Okay, let's do another layer of this here. Mind the hatch. Looks good. I don't know if I didn't do this. Looks like I did. It's just not noticeable, popped enough for my taste. Okay, we are nope. Up here at the top. We can put this away. Black parts. shouldn't have done that. I'm trying to keep this one for just the water that I'm going to add into it, not to actually like. 4R is the county township of. 4R is the county town of Frobisher, the next county north of Fife. I will not look at the comment right now. We'll not look at the comment right now. I'm almost done with this. Then we could look at the comment. That's the problem with finding everything interesting. You're like, ooh, what's that? Comet wouldn't have served with Sherman's, right? Let's make sure we can get it up off the ground before I'm worried about it. But it's an opportunity to play Necromancer. These things up from the dead. Oh, and the cable. Das Cabeln. Many steps to this, but it's all worth it in the end. Okay, and then while that's drying, we'll go ahead and do the wood. Nope, not that one. This one. The plastic on this, it just seems like a really cheap. It seems like a cheap water bottle. That's what it feels like. Got a little bit of white alive. Nope. That little nugget dried. Whoa, too bright. this is the official color of Russian wood, but I don't care. This is what looks good to my eye. Comet served until the late 1950s, were replaced by the Centurion. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. Ooh, we got the juicy bits that I like here. They replaced the Shermans. Second 5-4R were the first unit. Yeomanry were the first unit to convert, followed by 29th Armored Brigade. 19th Armored Division. 11th Armored Division was the first to completely re-equip before the end of the war. That model, I know it's 176. It's a big vehicle. I mean, it looks 172nd. It's a big vehicle, like footprint wise. All right, let's finish this up so we take a look at it. Actually, I need to go take a potty break. Be right back. The 77mm was not very effective. Couldn't penetrate the Panther frontally. Yikes. Really? That's what I said. Should have just kept the 25, the 17 pounder. 17 pounder is an incredibly awesome weapon. It penetrates more than the Panther's gun does. Slightly so. If I remember correctly. The Tiger 1's 88 penetrates just a little bit less than the Panther's gun, which penetrates just a little bit less than the 17 pounder. That was funny. The first very before I even started the battle last weekend. Was it last weekend with the BT-7 and Panzerjäger 1? The very first vehicle I put down, I started writing, transferring over the data from the rule set onto the card. So all would be accessible right there. The very first vehicle I did was the Panzerjäger 1. And the very first vehicle I did for that, there was an error in it. Like, what I would call an obvious error. So, yeah, I have trust issues. Not because there was nefariousness involved, But just because, we're all human and there's a lot going on, and, but they had the crew on the Panzerjäger 1 listed as commander, no, as driver and commander. That was it. So the Panzerjäger 1 was not a one-man casemated thing. It was a two-man crew. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Well, if something doesn't seem right, look it up. And it's not a tournament, so we can change it. After the war, they developed the charioteer using a 20-pounder. The 20-pounder, that was like the first thing that the original Centurions had, the 20-pounder, right? I would imagine that it's better than a 17, but you never know. Sometimes you go up you get a heavier shell that actually penetrates less. All right, we got drippings to do. We're almost done with this guy. I'm dying to pull it out. I'm giving it one last look and see if there's any salvageability left. Good Lord, I shouldn't invent my own words then, right? I can't pronounce them. That one didn't rust. I have some variation, but these hinges rust really bad. And so do these right here. Because communists don't use lubrication. What? Did the Soviets refer to themselves as communist in the war? Awful promoting that bullshit. Oh! Found you. Let's do that now before I forget. Do we have any... We don't have black lining left, okay. I'm not going to pull this thing off. I think we can get by with this. Except these lids that want to close on you. Let's put this here. Let's do two. I found a... Let's get almost all to go off. And it's this little line that goes... This little curvature. Goes there. Goes there. All right. I'm ready for a second breakfast. I'm really, really hungry. I didn't know that was a Lord of the Rings thing. I only seen Lord of the Rings once. That's enough. Down another one. It's all good. Was that a... It was. Freaking Reddit. I get all these Reddit notifications, and I'm like, I never go on there. I should just remove them. All right. Now, final touch. The Russian green with the dark sand. Don't need very much of this at all. These get discolored a little bit when you put the little black wash around the edge of it. And it just helps become visible again. All right. Oh, sounds like somebody's awake. Be right back. Okay. 4 folks, okay. Let's clear this area. Let's put all these things away, even though we probably will have to pull them back out. But it provides clarity. Oh, that's a red zone. That's a red zone. You don't go in the red zone, you go in the red zone. But, Russian green, we're gonna leave that thing out. That one's a bitch. You know what? We're gonna put it down here in the bottom corner. That's what I should do. I've made like no effort to like, okay, this is about in this area. Well, now we need to, because we're always looking for some colors always take forever to find. Let's move this one here and then these two next to each other. And that one as well. We'll put dark tone, which is the black, away from the other ones. Null oil, make sure it's closed all the way. We'll go over here, and what do we have here? We have the metallic. Right, move this out of the way. Suka, suka, suka. 3 bitches. There they are. Just need to be sealed. All right, so we've cleared this area. Let's take a look at this comet, or what's left of it, literally. Let's give myself a little bit of a height advantage. Yeah. Matchbox Lenzi Production and Company Limited, 1974. All right. I think we have about all of the pieces. Let's just do a double check on that. This looks like somebody wanted to pry this thing apart. Well, that fits on there pretty well. We're going to have to use super glue or worse for this to get this thing back in working order. Turret, this is the back of this. Somehow they wanted to pry this thing apart and destroy the process. Do we have both of them? Okay, let's just do a quick double check. Ooh, this idler wheel took a break. Yeah, this is. What's the turret look like? This might need a Hessian cover. You know what that is? Look it up. This is like this is like putting together dinosaurs. That's what this is. And if I don't have these pieces, it's going in the trash. So I'm missing a front wheel here, and oh, it's the backs. I'm missing the 2 backs. God, this is a big vehicle for 176 scale. Comfort. Or more comfortable. I'm missing some idler wheels. We're not keeping this. We're not keeping this. We're not going to be able to do justice to it. We're not going to be able to do the proper justice to the veterans that served with these units. Have a vehicle that looks like crap. Bye-bye. Well, while we're going through the trash heap, let's go through the trash heap. This is what, a King Kong? We got running gear there. Man, it's got layers of dust and shit. What's missing up front? We don't have a sprocket wheel up here. It looks damaged. I don't know, this is mostly complete. I don't really have a use for this vehicle. Man, there's some serious dust on this thing. It's not good. That's slippery slope. Okay, these guys are done. Where do we go next? Well, I have a German staff car here that was a pre-built one. This is like perfect to assassinate one of these Nazi thugs. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that right now. Let's see if I can find that universal carrier. Four parts. Here it is. Soviet JZ truck. God, these are just fucking trash. T-34-85. First of all, I don't need one. Sometimes you get some good deals. Sometimes you buy stuff you shouldn't have bought. There's a GAZ truck, first of all. These wheels just glue on there. I don't want to fool around. I'm gonna get disappointed how it looks, and there's nothing I can do about it because this is a crap model. This is the other piece of a 57 millimeter. I can't do anything with. Here's the universal carrier. All right. Which we're gonna make this one for the desert. Let's see what we got here. Man, this thing is like heavy. Weighs more than all three of these. Okay, this is broken. Okay, the two running gears. Got this thing that fits on the back. Here and here. Right. Okay. Two front plates. Man, I don't know which is which. Here's the Vickers. We're not going to put the Vickers there on it. This one will not have the Vickers. You have a little step there. We want this to be an infantry carrier version. All right, so let's clean up the parts. And this thing's going to be in counter. Too sharp. I paid $2 for this thing, so I hope I can get $2 worth of enjoyment out of this. Sharp bit down here at the bottom. And that is what I need, right? I need universal carriers. I don't need a Bren gun carrier. Alright, let's clean up this flash. I'm going to try to use super glue as much as I can, because that way I don't have to wait for it to set and mix up all that stuff and so forth. And I think everybody can agree this is a very cute vehicle. And there's lots of extra parts here and no instructions, so we're going to be going to the internets soon. And here is a piece that is slightly miscast. So we'll just have to roll with it. Okay. I don't know what the difference of the fronts are. We're going to educate ourselves. This is the hitch that goes on the back. I don't know if it fits one way or the other. We're going to educate ourselves before we choose the wrong thing. I don't think this is anything. I think we just have this box here. Tell me it's got two nubs on it. It does not. I have a feeling it's probably going to fit like that. You've got these two holes for the Vickers. I don't want the Vickers on it. It's need a lot more regular universal carriers before you put the Vickers on here. This is a tiny little shittily cast Bren gun. Another box. Maybe they fit on the side or something. Well, we'll find out. We're going to look at photographic evidence of that. All right, so I don't think I have anything that I would trust on the universal carrier. So let's go to universal carrier. Let's go there. Wikipedia. Let's go to Wikipedia first. First carriers, Bren gun carrier, and the scout carrier, which in specific roles entered the service for the war, but a single improvement could be replaced. These universal was introduced in 1940. Universal carriers were usually used for transporting personnel and equipment, mostly support weapons or as machine gun platforms. The hull in front of the commander's position jutted towards the front to give room for the Bren light machine gun or other armaments to fire through the simple slit. Initially, there were several types of carrier that varied slightly in design according to their purpose. Medium machine gun carrier, Bren gun carrier, scout carrier, and cavalry carrier. Never heard that one. Production of the single model became to be preferred, and the universal design appeared in 1940. This was mostly widely produced of the carriers that differed from the previous models in that the rear section of the body had a rectangular shape with more space for the crew. This is definitely one of those. I love that picture. Whee! Cute. Sometimes the universal carrier flies. Sometimes the crew that comes out of it flies. Whee! Those chaps are light on the feet. Okay, this is the early one, and you can tell that the back is sloped there, so that's not what we're looking for. Universal Carrier Mark II. Okay, this is a good picture of it. Now, let's look at the two fronts. And fits inside. It's kind of curious the way that they fit these in here. This doesn't look like that one. This is, oh, we gotta get rid of that piece of flash. This is like what? This is like way in the way. Let's all right, let's compare. How does this one fit? We're gonna have to cut a notch in that one if that one's gonna fit in there. So this is one, and the other one, I don't know, for whatever reason, the other one fits a lot deeper in it. This looks like the front here on this one. I'm gonna go to Plastic Soldier Company because they have really good instructions. Okay. Mark 1 or Mark 2? Is that what the difference is? No, those look the same. We know the wheel's gonna go up here. It's got two wheels, so looks like it's this one. So what the hell does this one go to? Let's see, let me go back one and see if there's the... Here's the one with the variants, right? See if any of these variants have a different front plate. Man, it sure doesn't look like it. No, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this one because this is the one that certainly looks like that's the one that fits on there. Actually, you know what? Universal carrier in desert. World War II. Images. Here's even one with Australians in it. This one looks like the taller one. But this is the Scout one. It's got a different back on it. Man, I love me some honeys. Oh! I saw a picture of Matilda. It looked like it didn't have a... Okay, so what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to stop right here. I don't want to get started on the wrong foot. I'm going to go put a post and see, okay, what are these pieces? Which one of these is for the front of it? And see which one of you Brent Carrier nerd burglars can tell me. I don't want to be on the wrong foot. But it comes with 2 plates, no instructions, so that's where we're going to start. We want to do these. We want to do this one for the Western Desert. It'll be nice and cute. So, all right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys